Trying to buy a set of tools can cost thousands of dollars, so why not just buy a drill as well as a bunch of drill attachments? We have some very sketchy as well as some very interesting looking attachments, so let's get the testing underway and see which ones are the best. At a price of only $17, the first super sketchy looking product we'll be testing is a Vegetation Cutter. They claim it's a long-reach drill-powered garden tool for chopping vegetables, weeds, and dry grass. Unfortunately, the cutter did not come with instructions. They claim their blades are high strength and resist bending. They claim it's ideal for spot clearing light weeds and maintaining small homestead areas. We're going to test that. And the cutter is made in China. I don't think I could have thought up a more sketchy looking drill attachment. If the Vegetation Cutter hits something, there's a chance it'll rebound and hit the drill operator in the ankles, legs, or knees. Unfortunately, the entire attachment did come loose and it fell off the shaft. I've reattached the cutter to the shaft, so let's try this again. And the blades are extremely sharp, but they are also very thin and likely to bend or break if you hit something substantial. And the cutter made decent progress on the small sapling, but I had to end the test as the blades came loose and one of the fasteners is missing. This is the most dangerous attachment I've ever tested, and I definitely do not recommend this one. Who needs a circular saw when you can buy this attachment for only $28? They claim that the circular saw offers precision and stability. And the circular saw attachment takes between 5 and 10 minutes to put together. This seems like another really sketchy drill attachment, and there isn't a blade guard. Also, there isn't a way to precisely center the blade on the shaft, which is a pretty big design flaw. They claim accurate cuts, providing precise results for your projects. They say it's designed for wood, aluminum plate, PVC tube, and ceramic tile. The Milwaukee drill is on the highest speed setting, and there just isn't enough blade speed to make a smooth cut. The quality of the blade is also an issue, and it took almost 11 seconds to make the cut. That's a pretty ugly looking cut, and it's not at all straight. The blade also left a pretty rough looking finish. Let's compare the performance with the circular saw. About 1.4 seconds to make the cut, and the cut looks very smooth and straight. This is another attachment that I definitely do not recommend. There's a huge opportunity to save some money buying this reciprocating saw for only $11. It even comes with 3 premium blades. Instead of just regular quality, they claim it has super quality materials. You can cut wood, metal, and meat cutting. As you might expect, made in China. The premium quality wood cutting blade is in place. So let's see how it performs cutting through a 2x4. The drill is on the highest speed setting, and the reciprocating saw is trying to make quick work of this 2x4. The saw has a very short stroke, which makes it difficult for the wood chips to clear. Unfortunately, the blade fell off after only 11 seconds. Let's try this again. The saw made a little bit more progress, but once again, the blade fell out. And the third time is the charm, and the saw is finally finished in 1 minute and 4 seconds. Let's see how a full-size reciprocating saw compares. And the reciprocating saw is about 1 minute faster than the attachment and 3.75 seconds on the first cut. And the second cut is finished in only 3.6 seconds. The manufacturer claims that this saw also came with a very high-quality metal cutting blade. Let's see how it performs on a piece of all thread. Unfortunately, the reciprocating saw attachment is really struggling to make progress cutting through the bolt. I'm applying plenty of downward force, but too much force and the reciprocating saw is unlikely to survive. Unfortunately, after 2 minutes and 20 seconds, the reciprocating saw is locked up and the Milwaukee clutch just kicked into action. This thing is completely cooked. The reciprocating saw has a used metal cutting blade but is making pretty quick progress. And the saw with the used blade is finished in only 6.8 seconds. Let's open up the reciprocating saw attachment and see what happened. Unfortunately, the plastic gear set inside broke into a bunch of pieces. And this is another attachment that I just cannot recommend. At a price of $95 is this DeWalt Impact Connect PVC and PEX Cutter. Avoid the hassle of hand tools. They claim it makes 6 times faster cuts. They claim 100 times less cutting effort than manual cutter to limit fatigue on long days. It's supposed to cut up to a 2-inch Schedule 40, Schedule 80 PVC, CPVC, ABS, and PEX. And a PVC cutter is made in China. And a PVC cutter made very quick and easy work of the 3/4 inch PVC in about 2 seconds. And a cutter made a very smooth and straight cut. Let's move up to a larger PVC pipe. This is by far the best attachment so far. And I didn't even rush the cut, and the PVC cutter is finished in around 3 seconds. Once again, that's a very smooth and straight cut, and the PVC is ready to be used. Let's go for an even larger PVC pipe. And the cut is finished in under 2 seconds. Even the larger PVC pipe is looking very straight and smooth. Let's go ahead and pretty much max out the size of pipe that's designed for this PVC cutter. The pipe began flattening out at the beginning of the cut, but it still made a very quick cut in just under 2 seconds. Yet another very smooth and straight cut. Very impressive. This is definitely an attachment that I would buy, and it seems well worth the money. At a very affordable $18 is this chainsaw attachment. It has a 6-inch bar. They claim this chainsaw is more light and portable compared to a regular chainsaw, and it's also easier to store. The chains are made of alloy material and the handle is made of plastics material which can provide for a long service life. And the chainsaw attachment is made in China. Let's see how fast the chainsaw attachment can cut through a 2x4. And it's around 4.38 seconds on the first cut, which is pretty good. I pushed the chainsaw even harder on the second cut and it's finished in 3.5 seconds. And the third cut is the fastest of the three at only 3.34 seconds. Not bad for $18. Let's see how this $170 compact steel chainsaw compares. I pushed the saw too hard on the first cut and it stalled the saw. And the steel is finished in 6.4 seconds or about twice as much time as the attachment. And the second cut is a little bit faster at around 5.15 seconds, which is still quite a bit slower than the chainsaw attachment. And the third cut is the fastest of the three at 4.79 seconds or about a second and a half slower than the chainsaw attachment. It seems like a little bit of an unfair comparison with this compact Makita saw, but let's do it anyway. And Makita is by far the fastest so far at 1.3 seconds per cut on the first two attempts. I stalled the saw on the third attempt, but it's still the fastest yet at 2.5 seconds. Let's see how the chainsaw attachment performs on Osage Orange, which is a pretty hard wood. And the hard wood did slow down the chainsaw attachment a little, but just over 11 seconds is still pretty good. And the $170 steel chainsaw isn't nearly as fast as the chainsaw attachment, but it's making steady progress. And the compact chainsaw is finally finished in just under 18 seconds, or around 6 to 7 seconds slower than the attachment. In my opinion, for under $20, this is actually a pretty good deal for a chainsaw that's designed for very light-duty cleanup. At a very affordable price of only $15 is this Rivet Gun adapter kit. They claim easy processing for pop riveting work. Includes 4 rivet heads, 2.4mm, 3.2, 4, and 4.8mm. They claim all metal forged with high working strength. They claim the gun adapter is more labor-saving than manual and more convenient than pneumatic. Rivets are not included. And Rivet Gun is made in China. Let's see how the manual rivet gun compares. Without rushing, the manual rivet gun took just under 4 seconds. From the reviews I've read, it's important to lubricate the rivet gun attachment generously before use to keep the mandrel or pin from becoming stuck. And the rivet gun is finished in just 1.5 seconds. Removing the mandrel did not work out, so I had to disassemble the rivet gun attachment. Once again, 1.5 seconds is pretty good. Unfortunately, it's not ejecting the spent mandrel properly, and I'm having to use pliers to extract the spent mandrel. While it does a pretty good job of installing rivets, extracting the mandrel is a hassle and just not a good design. Unfortunately, I just can't recommend the rivet gun attachment. At a price of $9 is this universal socket adapter. It's supposed to fit most nuts. So why bother buying a whole set of wrenches when you could just buy a universal socket? It's designed to fit pretty much any size of nut or bolt, and a universal socket is made in China. Let's really put the universal socket to the test, driving in several lag bolts. I'll use a torque adapter to keep track of the maximum torque. And the universal socket gained a quick grip on the lag bolt and held on without a problem. And the torque adapter is showing 77 inch-pounds, which is pretty good. The universal socket also made easy work of removing the lag bolt. Let's move up to a larger lag bolt to see if the universal socket can handle the extra torque. A little snap, crackle, and popping sounds, but the universal socket held in there and survived the test. 145 inch-pounds is about twice as much torque as the first attempt. The universal socket made easy work of extracting the larger lag bolt. This is the largest lag bolt that the universal socket can handle. The universal socket drove in the lag bolt most of the way, but I had to stop the test to avoid damaging the torque adapter. I'll have to use a larger torque adapter with the Milwaukee. And the Milwaukee has way too much torque for the socket adapter. Fortunately, I do have another socket adapter that we can use to continue the testing. The universal socket has a couple of stuck pins, but it still should work just fine. Let's back out the lag bolt and make another attempt. And the universal socket held in there just as long as the Milwaukee. And 533 inch-pounds is pretty good. Let's drive in 4 different sizes of lag bolts once again to see if the universal socket can survive. The universal socket does seem like a gimmick. However, the universal socket did hold up surprisingly well. The pins do look a little bit beat up, but it's still in decent shape. At a price of $56 is this metal shear that's made by DeWalt. You can use either a drill or an impact driver with a DeWalt. It's designed to cut up to 18 gauge material. It works with sheet metal, corrugated sheet metal, duct, asphalt shingles, steel mesh, vinyl siding, wire, and more. And the DeWalt Metal Shear is made in Taiwan. Let's start off with some aluminum flashing before we move on to more challenging material. And the DeWalt Metal Shears are very sharp and made easy work of the aluminum flashing. Aluminum flashing just isn't enough to challenge these shears. So let's go ahead and try some 18 gauge steel. DeWalt claims that their metal shears can handle 18 gauge material and is making slow and steady progress cutting through the 18 gauge steel. It's not the fastest tool, but it's holding up just fine. A while back, I did test a battery-powered electric shear. And the battery-powered electric shear also held in there, but the DeWalt cutting shears and the Milwaukee drill combination seems to offer more cutting power. So if you're in need of metal cutting shears, the DeWalt shears seem like a pretty good value at under $60. At a price of only $20 is this strap winder. This thing is supposed to quickly wrap up a strap. It definitely looks to be very well built. And a strap winder is made in China. This actually looks like a simple and practical tool. You could probably build your own with some scrap metal if you have some basic tools and a welder. And a strap winder is really designed for a wider strap, but I want to see how it performed on about 75 feet of this small narrow rope. And a strap winder did a great job. Let's move on to some larger strap. Once again, the strap winder made very easy work of the larger strap. Much easier and faster than rolling up the strap manually. Let's see how the strap winder performs on a strap that's 4 inches wide by about 30 feet in length. Once again, the strap winder did a terrific job. Definitely 2 thumbs up for the strap winder, and this is definitely a drill attachment that seems worth the money. At a price of $20 is this auger attachment. One auger is 3.5 inches by 16 inches, and the other one is 1.6 by 16.5. It does require at least a 3/8 inch drill. They claim it quickly lifts soil out of holes. It's supposed to work for digging fence posts, umbrella stands, and bird feeders. They claim you can dig 10 times faster than manual tools. And the auger is made in China. The smallest of the 2 augers is doing a great job on this soft ground. Once it begins to go deeper into the ground, you'll have to lift up to remove the dirt that's gathered around the flutes. On ground that's not so soft, it'll probably perform even better. Let's move on to the larger auger. And the full-size auger is also making good progress, and the flutes are doing a much better job of lifting the dirt without needing assistance. This auger actually works quite a bit better than expected. If you decide to buy one of these augers, I recommend only using it with a drill that has a low transmission speed as well as a clutch. You'll also want a drill that has a side handle to avoid a hand injury. This is definitely a good quality set of attachments that seems worth $20. At a price of $55 is this copper pipe cutter, which is made by DeWalt. They claim it cuts copper pipe 4 times faster. They also claim it requires 100 times less cutting effort compared to manual cutter. It has up to a 1-inch cut capacity. 1/2 and 3/4 inch cutting wheels are included. And the DeWalt is made in China. This copper pipe cutter attachment works with my Milwaukee, DeWalt, and Makita cordless impact drivers. And it made the cut in under 3 seconds, which is pretty good. The DeWalt cutter did a great job leaving a really straight and smooth finish. There is a very small burr on the inner side of the pipe, and we have the perfect tool attachment for that as well. A look under the microscope, and the cut looks great. Definitely a thumbs up for the DeWalt copper pipe cutting attachment. At a price of only $10 is this 10-piece wire brush set. It includes 3 1-inch pen brushes, 3 2-inch wheel brushes, and 4 2-inch cut brushes. They claim it's made with premium carbon steel wire, designed to handle up to 4,500 RPM. And the wire brush set is made in China. For a budget-friendly wire brush set, the cut brush is doing a great job of removing the rust. It'll take a stronger abrasive material such as a flat disc to remove the pitting. And the wheel brush is also making quite the rust dust storm and is doing a great job of removing the rust. Let's see how the wire brushes hold up on a rusty bolt. And the wheel brush is doing a great job of cleaning the badly rusted threads. The cup wheel also performed well at removing the rust. The wire brushes held up just fine, no issues with the wire brush breaking apart. These are definitely not premium wire brushes, but not bad for $10. At a price of $14 is this drill bit extension. The kit also comes with a right angle drill adapter. They claim it offers enhanced accessibility in tight spaces. The total length of the shaft is 11.5 inches, and the flexible drill bit extension is made in China. When working in tight spaces, a flexible shaft could really come in handy, especially if it can handle some torque. So let's see how the flexible shaft performs driving in a lag bolt. And the flexible shaft actually performed well as long as I supported the flexible shaft to prevent it from trying to coil up. The right angle drill adapter looks to have a pretty poor build quality. The right angle drill adapter drove in the lag bolt most of the way, but it suddenly locked up. Let's open up the right angle adapter and inspect the damage. And the gears on the inside of the adapter are very soft and experience catastrophic damage. In my opinion, the flexible shaft is decent, but the right angle adapter has a very poor build quality. At a price of $19 is this Deburring Tool, size 1/8 inch up to 3/4 or 3 mm to 19. It's designed for steel pipe, iron pipe, stainless steel, copper, aluminum, and hard plastic tube. And the Deburring Tool is made in Taiwan. There's a little bit of an inner burr on the copper pipe. And the Deburring Tool actually did a great job of removing the burr. Let's test it out on PVC and a steel pipe. The PVC pipe has a sharp edge. As you might expect, the Deburring Tool made very quick work of the PVC, and I removed more than enough material. The steel pipe is a lot harder material, but the Deburring Tool made very easy work of the metal pipe. Once again, I'm taking off more material than necessary, and the Deburring Tool is holding up just fine. In a previous review, I tested drill bits, and some of the drill bits were actually able to drill through this AR500 armor plating. This is some really hard material. So let's see if the Deburring Tool can soften the sharp edges at the top of the hole. And the Deburring Tool actually did a great job. A close-up look under the microscope, and the Deburring Tool did a great job of removing the sharp edge. However, the Deburring Tool did experience some wear and tear from the AR500. This does seem like a pretty good quality tool considering the price tag of under $20. At a price around $17 is this Deburring External Chamfer tool, 1/8 inch up to 3/4 inch or 3 mm to 19 mm. They claim it has tungsten carbide blades. The blade geometry ensures rapid removal of burrs, creating a clean chamfered external edges on metal, PVC, and piping. And the Deburring Tool is made in China. Let's see how the tool performs on removing metal from this steel pipe. And the deburring tool works pretty quickly. Let's remove some more material. And the deburring tool continues to do a great job of removing material. We used a reciprocating saw on this bolt earlier in the review. Let's see how the deburring tool performs at removing the sharp edges. And once again, the deburring tool performed well. A close-up look under the microscope, and the carbide is still in place and in good condition. This definitely seems like a tool that's worth a price tag of less than $20. At a price of $14 is this water transfer pump. And a water transfer pump is made in China. The water transfer pump includes two very light-duty rubber hoses and a side handle. Let's see how quickly the water transfer pump can transfer around 3 gallons of water. Unfortunately, the rubber hose on the suction side is collapsing and the water pump is not able to transfer water. I'll try this again with a better quality hose. With a better hose on the suction side, the water transfer pump is actually doing a pretty good job. And the water pump is finished moving water in about 34 seconds. Let's see how the water pump attachment compares to this 1/10 horsepower water pump that's rated for 330 gallons per hour. And the dedicated water pump is actually a little bit slower than the attachment and moving 3 gallons of water in just under 40 seconds. I'm definitely not impressed with the rubber hoses that are included in this kit, but the water pump did a decent job. At a price of $10 is this drum sander. It can be used on wood, metal, or plastic. Designed for polishing, sanding, smoothing surfaces, or curved edges. You can even use it for rust removal. The sandpaper disc costs an extra $10. And the drum sander is made in China. This isn't nearly as fast as an angle grinder, but it's doing a really good job of reshaping the edge of the board. So far, so good for the drum sander. Let's see how the drum sander performs on removing the sharp edge on this steel plate. The drum sander made quick work of removing the sharp edge in about 16 seconds. In my opinion, this seems like a pretty good tool for a price of under $20. At a price of $9 is this Dual Brush attachment set. It's an all-purpose power scrubber cleaning kit, designed to clean your bathtub, grout, upholstery, bathroom surface, floor, tile, shower, toilet, and carpet. They claim that the nylon brushes will not scratch the surfaces. And the Dual Brush attachment set is made in China. Let's see how the scrubber works on the front tire of my old farm truck. I don't think this old tire has ever been cleaned. The scrubber is doing a great job of attacking the dirt on the tire. In all, about 25 seconds to clean a portion of the tire. This definitely seems like a lot better option than using a hand scrubber and well worth $10. Some of these attachments are very well worth the money and seem very good. However, some of these are definitely ones you want to avoid. All the videos in this channel, including this one, are viewer suggested. So if you have a video idea, I hope you'll take time to leave a comment. Thanks so much for watching. Please take care and look forward to next time.